Hey guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jim McDonald. This is geared towards my men's group. So I wanted to go over my testimony. I'm a little behind. I think most of the guys have already given theirs, but I've been gone for a while and I took a little break in between. So I owe you guys my testimony and I wanted to give it to you. Let me go back to early childhood. I grew up in a church family. My parents were both heavily involved in church. We went Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. And I was raised in church. I remember giving my life to the Lord when I was first grade. We had just moved to St. Louis, probably the summer of 1979, going into first grade. I hid under a blanket because I was scared to ask Jesus to come live in my heart. So I did it while hiding under a blanket. So that's my little come to Jesus moment. But that moment was with me and my dad, and he's the one that led me to do that. And it seemed like every Sunday after that, we did it in Sunday school. You always do it at church. It becomes a routine just to say that, to ask Jesus to come into my heart, come into my life, and forgive me and accept me as I am, and in turn accept the grace and salvation that Christ gives for us. I hate that it becomes routine and we say it every Sunday. I hate that, but it's a good reminder. But it shouldn't be a routine. We should get something out of it every time. So, like I said, I grew up in church, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Going to church every week, I was familiar. I went to church to hang out with my friends and play and hear about God. But there was no connection really for me. Even through high school, it was more of a I had to go kind of thing. And I always felt my parents, the older I got, when I turned 18, my dad told me, hey, you're old enough to make your own decisions now. If you don't want to go to church, we're not going to force you, but we hope you'll go. And I decided to go to the lake with my friends on Sunday. And that began my journey off the path. And I remember talking about this with my dad last summer when I was staying with him for a couple of months in between contracts. And I told him I wish he never would have asked me that question or given me that opportunity. I wish he would have just, forced me to stay. And he said he wished he had to, but he felt like at that time he wanted to give me the opportunity to do the right thing on my own. So I failed, but it's all about redemption. So I went away to college and told my parents, hey, we have chapel on Thursdays. I'll just go to chapel on Thursday, and I'll, go to church on Sundays. I went to chapel on Thursday because we had to, and I did not go to church on Sundays because no one was there to make me. So my journey got a little bit further and further. That carried on into coming home from school after my freshman year, and staying at the house and going to school part-time at a community college because my dad had had a heart attack and I thought I should probably come home. So stay home, going to school part-time. After a year of being a completely low performer at school, 2 Ds, 1 F, and a withdraw, I decided to join the Marine Corps. Went to boot camp. Boot camp, I got real tight with God again. It's amazing when you're down low, you reach high. And then when I got out of it, I didn't need God anymore. I did, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, the 3 most dangerous words a guy can say, I got this. And I thought I had it. So for 4 years, I didn't really go to church. Still had the foundation. That was one thing that I think saved me, was having that solid foundation built. Even though I wasn't a total God-fearing, responsible man growing up, I always knew about it and it was always there. So that foundation had been laid. Got out of the Marine Corps, started moving around, moved to a couple of different states for work, and I met a gal up in Oregon, living in Portland. And we moved in together, which was something I was totally brought up to not do. I couldn't even watch Three's Company when I was a kid because it showed a guy living with 2 girls. And for all you younger generation, that was a TV show. You old guys know what I'm talking about. So that's how strict my parents were on that kind of stuff. But again, I was my own man at this time. I'm probably 25, give or take, and living on my own. So I thought I could do what I wanted to, and I could. Free will. It's a dangerous thing. But we moved to California, and we lived together for about 3 years, broke up, moved back to St. Louis, and then that's where I got reacquainted with my soon-to-be wife, who is now my ex-wife. And in every relationship I've had since the age of 24, I've participated in premarital sex. And the more I learn about how this relates to God and the Bible and us, that if you're doing that, your marriage is already doomed. And I see it now. I didn't see it at the time. It's amazing how certain things in life, like boot camp, will draw you right back to church and draw you back to Christ. For another one for that would be having your first child. We went to church as we were engaging in our first year of marriage. Went to her parents' church that she grew up in. I didn't really get much out of it. She wasn't getting much out of it. So we had our son, Jackson, in May of 2004. And after about a year or two, we decided to go back to my old church that I had grown up in and try something new. And we did that, and then had 2 more kids and moved around from church to church, and life was good as far as I thought. We had our married issues like everybody does. You fight, you make up, everything's cool. But it wasn't. In January of 2017, my wife told me that she didn't want to be married anymore. And she'd been thinking about it for months, and she didn't want to work on it. And I sort of snapped, screamed, yelled, slept on the couch for 2 weeks, and then after that, I was out of the house. And we were finished with our divorce in a month and a half. Everything was done. So for the next 2 years, give or take, I was drunk and angry the entire time. I hadn't drank in probably 15 years. That all ended like the week I moved out, and I realized, oh man, I can drink now. And I began to seek relationship and validation from alcohol and from women. And I jumped on those dating sites, and I think I was on 5 of them at a time. I was reaching out to all the pretty girls, and crazy enough, they were responding. I was like, man, I've never really, my wife was beautiful, I'll give her that. But it's amazing when you seek it, you'll find it. That can go for just about anything. So after 13 and a half years of marriage, I was on my own again. And like I said, I was drinking and dating, and I wouldn't even call it dating. I was just on a conquest and trying to do what I could do. And then when I did find someone I was interested in, they weren't interested in me, and vice versa. If they were interested in me, I wasn't interested in them. So it was just like nothing was working, nothing was copacetic. Did that for the next, I don't know, few years. Even when I was past my drunk, angry stage, I was still kind of dating around. And the whole time I'm doing this, I'm working as a police officer. And, excuse me, the cop world was starting to wear on me, and I was getting into a pretty dark place. Had a couple of calls that were messing me up in here that I wasn't dealing with. And then I made the mistake of posting something on social media one day out of anger about 2 cops that had been shot in California. And that post, even though I took it down after about 15 minutes, was screenshotted by a pastor friend of mine and sent to someone in my department who was the captain of our SWAT team, who I knew, but we weren't like buddies, but I know him, he knew me. And so he had to take action with the post that I had made. And my department had deemed me homicidal, suicidal. So that night he called me and told me that Monday that I was on administrative leave and that my department would reach out to me the following, during the week and give me the lowdown. Well, that started a whole chain reaction of no communication and some crazy drinking and bad thoughts and having to go see a shrink and drinking while I was on the Zoom call with him the next couple of days after the meeting because it was COVID time. So we had to meet on the computer. The personality test I took, he felt that I was drinking too much, and I got mad because I was, but I didn't need anybody to tell me that, and I hung up on him and did the call. And I immediately thought the next call I get is going to be, hey, you're fired. And I never got that call. The next call I got was, hey, you need to come back to work in 2 weeks, and we're going to put you on light duty, and you can rest your brain for a couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever it was. I think it was about 6 weeks. So I did that, never dealt with any of it, just kind of pushed it down and made it a little bit deeper, and it never got better. So I'm not going to go into all the details of all the stuff that happened after that because it's just not worth it right now. That's a different story, but I ended up leaving police work and going overseas for a few years and then coming back. I got back in June of 2025, last year. So I came back to the States and eventually got down to Pensacola in August of 2025. And I had been researching churches before I came down here. I saw Momentum online. I watched some of the service, and I thought, I'm gonna check this place out first. I like the lights, I like the smoke, I like the environment, I like the sound, the worship, and I like the message. So I went to Momentum, and that was the only church I visited. And they started talking about groups and stuff, and I walked out after that first service, and I saw this guy standing out there in blue jeans and a ball cap and holding a Bible, with a handle on it, and he just looked like a good old boy. And I walked up to him and I introduced myself, and he said his name was Will, and told me about the guys that hang out at the shed, and I thought, man, okay, I could do this. So he gave me directions, gave me the address, and I was there every day for I don't know how many months, and got to meet all you guys down there. And again, I hit another dark spot during that year and kind of bailed out of the group for a little while. But Will kept checking on me, sent me a text message every week or so. Hey man, just checking on you, see how you're doing. So I really appreciated that. The connection was there, and I came back. Now I'm working a different job, so it's a little bit more difficult to go, but I'm still going to be, with my new job, I'll be able to create my own work hours. So you'll see me there during the week, just heads up. But my point to this whole thing is, I didn't really think I had a testimony, but as I look back over my life, I really do. But my journey's not done yet. I just hit 53 a week ago, and I've got a renewed vigor to minister to men. And this is something I had a couple of years ago, but I let Christian men who I knew tell me I was talking about it too much. Nobody wanted to hear it. And I kind of backed down, and I listened to the world instead of the word. So I've got words for people that tell me I'm talking about it too much, and they will be kind and loving. But I'm going back after what I feel God has put in my heart to address, and I'm going to do it. And that is where I'm at right now. I'm currently up in Tallahassee at the State Probation Academy, and it's kicking my butt. I'll be up here through the end of October, but I'm working on lessons and posts and stuff that I want to have set up, so when I'm able to sort of reinvent myself as a teacher, speaker, mentor kind of a guy, I'll have my stuff ready to go. I want to be prepared. So that's kind of my story right now. I'm hoping to be able to elaborate on that and have some better information, some better stories coming. But that's kind of where I'm at right now at this stage in my life, and I just wanted to share that with you so you guys know my background. I'll be glad to talk about this in person and answer any questions you guys got, but I just wanted to get this post done so that I could at least have something to show you regarding me, my life, and my testimony. Love you guys. Have a good one.